I felt that it was important that you know about this night that happened with Jelle because I have a feeling that she is going to be in some way related to my future. Okay. Good morning. A new friend came to the hostel last night. He wanted to go for a beer. I'm glad that I did because it was insane. We danced like crazy. I danced my butt off. The same bar where I was talking to the girl that met up with Yannick is where we went last night. We bid a bout. We ordered more after we finished the first round of beers, and then he comes with a bucket with 5 beers inside. And I was like, oh my god. Around the time when we finished the beers is when 2 girls showed up. They weren't on the dance floor, but they were close, and they weren't really dancing, but they were moving. I walked up to the girls and I just started talking to them a little bit. And we just started dancing a little bit because they were basically on the dance floor, standing at the outside of the dance floor. And I walked up to them to talk with them. And then after a while, we just kind of were in the dance floor. You know, at one point, one of the girls is interested in me. At one point, she's not. At one point, the other one is. At one point, she's not. It was interesting. It was interestingly touch and go. But anyways, I love a challenge. One of the locals' name is Jelle, and the other one's name is maybe Mark. It was evident that Jelle and I had an amount of attraction. She is the one that I was originally attracted to. On the dance floor, she was a little bit more reserved, and her friend was a little bit more outward. I was trying to kind of pull Jelle in, seduce Jelle with my dancing. At some point, I need to take a break. Honestly, I wanted to smoke a cigarette. So I went outside to see if there was somebody that I could ask for a cigarette. I see 2 girls sitting on the sidewalk, and I just asked them if I could smoke with them. So she's giving me a hard time about giving me this cigarette. She wanted me to tell her one word that I knew in French. And I think I just told her bonjour, which almost doesn't count, but it earned the cigarette, so it's fine. And then I'm like, listen, I'm gonna, what are you guys doing? Like, come and dance with my friends and I. They're like, all right, we're gonna dance one more dance here, and then we'll follow you. And I was like, bullshit, but whatever, I'm down here anyways. At some point, the girls actually do show up. I introduce my friend to the French girls. The French girl that speaks more English is more outgoing. And she is dancing and communicating and introducing herself to the 2 local girls. So eventually everybody is relatively getting along. The 2 local girls want to go outside to smoke. And I said, well, invite the French girls. Take the French girls with you, they smoke too. And my French friend went with them. So I was the only one there that was left. Basically, I paid the bill while they were gone in case we needed to leave quickly. Even before we leave, Jelle starts to make it evident to me that she is feeling attraction. My French friend comes in, he's like, they're gonna leave. I'm like, damn, I was having fun. I was having fun, man. The local girls and the French girls are gonna leave together, and basically we're going with them. This conversation was so good. I was a huge fan of this conversation because we were talking naughty. We were talking about how to speak naughty. We were talking about how to tell somebody that they're doing something that you like. It was a naughty conversation, and I'm all about it. I am all about it. This whole time I'm talking to somebody, listen, where are there tacos or sandwiches? Where? Nobody is operating their taco stand at 1:30 a.m. like shit on the block at this point. So we get to the disco, they reject us. Mar wants to go for more beer. Jelle wants to go to the bathroom. The French girls want to go somewhere else, but they're looking for a vibe. And I want tacos. I want food. I want meat. I'm hungry at this point. So I talked to the bouncer. I'm like, are there tacos or sandwiches nearby? And by some miracle, literally a minute away is tacos and a bathroom. And it turns out there was beer there. Unbelievable. before we go get tacos, the French girls leave. We go get tacos, and with the plan of going to the spot to get beers. So we eat the tacos, we eat them quick because the girls wanted to go, and then we walk to the next bar. Lo and behold, things are looking familiar as we're getting close to this bar. And we show up at the bar where my friends work. I was like, oh my fucking God. At this point, it's well past when they should legally be opened, and it's closed. It's closed. But, you know, Mara knows how this works, and she kind of knocks on the other door. And it's a fucking speakeasy. We sneak in the other door, and boom, we're in the bar that's now a speakeasy. It's crazy. We go to the back, there's more people there than I had ever seen. The back area was filled. We order big beers. There's a deal for 3 big beers. Huge liter bottles of beer. Liter and 1.2 liters, I think. Jelle and I are vibing. And I should admit that my French friend and Mara are also vibing. I tried to be cool to open the next big beer. They did not bottle cap it. So I rested on the side of the table. I rest the cap on the side of the table in an effort to push it down like this to pop the cap off. But the bottle's so big and it's wet, it's sweaty, that it just falls to the floor and breaks. I was trying to be cool, and I made a fool of myself. I was laughing, I felt ashamed. Yeah, I was like, oh my God. It broke right down there. And at one point I kind of lowered my foot and then cut my toe just a little bit. Yeah, cut my toe just a little bit. That's what I get for trying to be a show off. That's what I get. At some point I asked Jelle, how do you say Band-Aid in Spanish? She's like, what's the issue? I talked to her in Spanish. You know, my Spanish is absolutely getting better. Absolutely, my Spanish is absolutely getting better. It's 4 or 5 days in. Anyway, I roughly tell her I need a bandage for my foot. And then I show her the blood that's dripping. And she's like, oh. She tells me to sit down, and she gets some toilet paper and some water, and she's tending to my wound. And then afterwards, she just sits next to me. And we are probably talking on the couch on the love seat for 20 minutes, half hour, more or less. And conversation is good between Jelle and I, very good. Eventually, we talk about things that are close to our heart. She tells me about the things that she's afraid of. She tells me about the loss of her aunt, the recent loss of her aunt, and how it made her feel. At this point, it's like 4:30 a.m. at this point, and people are trying to leave, but the police are outside of the speakeasy, so nobody can leave. Anyways, 20 minutes of this, and they're gone enough that we can, take our leave. I should say that at this point, even before we left, French friend and Mar are definitely feeling each other. They're making out, they're kissing, they're very feeling each other. And so Mar orders an Uber. When we leave the bar to wait for the Uber and to talk and to wait for the Uber, then they're feeling each other too. And at this moment, I take I'm looking above while we're waiting, and I see these flowers, these pink flowers, fuchsia flowers, and I tell Jelle that I think the flowers are pretty, and she's leaning against the wall. And I kind of lean against the wall also while reaching up to pull one of the flowers off and kind of give the flower to her. And then she places the flower in her hair, in her ear, and she says, "You think the flower is pretty like this. So I compliment her because Jelle is pretty. Jelle is pretty. And the flower made her look even better. We kiss a little bit while waiting for the Uber. The three of them get in the back and I get in the front. And then the Uber takes us, drops us off here at the hostel. And we say our goodbyes and we get inside and it is 5:30 a.m. I walk in the kitchen and Maurice, he was already awake with the lights on, reading his book, having his first coffee. And I'm walking in there, sweaty, drunk. I'm going to send Jelle a message. I have not messaged her. Tell her what my friend Anna taught me. So I was talking to Anna and I was like, Anna, I want you to help me to talk dirty. And she's like, in what way? What are you talking about? I was like, okay, in Spanish, how do you say good girl? Tell me how to talk sexy. And she's like, okay, you say, okay, what you should say instead, eres buena. Eres buena. You're good. That's what she told me. She said, this is what you should say, eres buena. You're good. You're good. And I was like, all right. So I've been trying to memorize that the last day or two. But I'm going to message her this morning. I'm just going to say, eres buena. You're good. And I have a strong feeling that she knows exactly what I'm talking about. I want her to know that I'm grateful for her. Jelle and I had a relatively deep connection last night. We'll see if the future holds something for us. Whatever is meant to happen will happen. But she's good. She is good. I like her a lot. All right, you're the best. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best. Thanks for being here with me.